Hello everyone and welcome back to Tech Zulu live from New Media Expo in Las Vegas. I'm your host Amanda Coulong and I am sitting here with Dorie Clark, the author of the upcoming book Reinventing You. What is Reinventing You about, Dorie?
Well, basically, it's a book about professional reinvention. I decided to write it because I think, like a lot of people these days, I've had a lot of career iterations. I was a journalist, I worked in politics, I have my own marketing company now, I ran a nonprofit, and more I'm seeing people at all stages in their careers who want to either change careers or they want to move up somehow and feel like they might be stymied by how people are perceiving them, and they want to take control of their reputation and be able to move forward the way they want to do it. So that was what the book was about.
I like that. So just really taking control of your brand, who you are. And that's so indicative too, I think, of so many people in the upcoming generations. They're not staying with one job and one career their entire lives. They are constantly reinventing themselves. So what are some of the things that you've learned in this process? I mean, how do you shift from one to another?
Well, I think one of the most important parts, which is often overlooked, is the importance of really creating a narrative that describes how your career arc has gone. Because I think sometimes there's a tendency for other people who aren't really paying a lot of attention to you, they're kind of looking at it from the outside, and they say, oh, you know, this is a really random thing. You're like having some kind of crisis, and you know, you're just deciding to do this thing. And so if you're able to really come up with a story that you can tell that explains, no, I've thought about this, here is what I learned before, here's where I want to go, and explain how you can bring value to that new area, then I think it sinks in more for people. They're more willing to take you seriously and also to expend political capital on your behalf to help you get there.
So it's almost like the same mindset that you would have going into a job interview itself when you're trying to just sell yourself on why you qualify, but sort of doing that cohesively with your entire career.
I think that's right. I mean, you need to think about your entire network as being able to be helpful to you and to be your posse that gets you to the next place. And so I think for some people there can be a tendency to just flit around a lot. I mean, you know, just to say, oh, well, you know, I'm definitely going to do this. I'm definitely going to be a travel writer or whatever it is.
I know so many of these people.
That's right. And 5 minutes later, they're on to something else. And after a while, you don't think about it, but you're beginning to build up a reputation among your peers as somebody who's a little bit flaky or somebody that's not really serious about their direction. And so you just want to be a little bit more strategic about saying, look, I'm exploring a number of options, I'm gathering information, you know, here's what I'm thinking about, what's your feedback? And then when you really are ready to go great guns, tell people by all means and get them on board, but you don't want to fire your gun too early.
Right. So what was the narrative that you created when you were shifting?
That's a great question.
You knew I was going to ask you that. Come on, Dorie.
Absolutely. Well, anyone trained at Emerson College would do no less.
Oh, we had to bring it up. She taught at Emerson. I went to Emerson. There's a great love there.
It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, so in terms of my own narrative, I would say that the way that I think about the story in my life, I first worked as a journalist and then switched over to politics. And because of that, I learned a lot about how do you tell a story, how do you make sure that you're presenting yourself in the way you want to the world. But I didn't know enough at that point to really be successful at having my own business because I knew a lot about the thing that I did. I didn't know a lot about how to generate business or how to, make a living at it. And so I actually took a period of time being a nonprofit executive director. And ironically, people don't think of this, but it was training to run a business. I mean, you still have to make a profit, even if it's a nonprofit. And
imagine that.
I know, crazy. And so because of that, I learned all of the other skills that I needed to eventually go out on my own and be able to really apply that value to other people.
Well, that makes me think of an important point, too, is that you can get a lot of the additional skills that you need in uncommon places.
Yes.
So thinking sort of outside there of not just the place I want to go, but where else can I go sort of on the periphery to get those additional skills?
I think that's exactly right. I mean, I work with a lot of people, and oftentimes their first impulse is they say, oh, I have to go back to grad school. That's what I should do. I should get an MBA. I should get a JD. And, sometimes that's the right answer, but not always. Right. And, you have to be careful because otherwise you find yourself $100,000 in debt. And one of my favorite examples, when I was running this nonprofit, the Massachusetts Bicycle Coalition, coalition. We were the state bicycle advocacy
Right
group.
on.
It was pretty cool. We had a board member who was, a young woman in her 20s, and she was just very active. She was doing all kinds of stuff, and she used her work on the nonprofit to build the skills that she needed so that she could get in her day job into the positions that she wanted. And she built an entire fundraising career, which was not an area she really had known anything about, on the strength of the events that she coordinated for us.
Wow. So some of this, I'm sure, could also happen through volunteer time, extracurricular. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your full-time job where you're just sitting there getting angry because you're not getting the additional skills that you want or going in the direction that you want.
That's exactly right. I mean, what she told me when I interviewed her for my book, which is called Reinventing You and is coming out this spring, is she said that she loved being active in our nonprofit because it gave her the freedom to be able to experiment and do all kinds of things that she wasn't necessarily permitted officially to do in her regular job. And then when she came time to say, hey, can I try this? She was able to say, look, I've already done it elsewhere and it's been successful, so that her bosses had less resistance to it. So volunteering is great. Targeted classes are great. You don't need to have a grad degree if what you need is, one particular skill, how to write better blog posts. You could take a course online, you could take a course at the Adult Ed Center, and it can be exactly what you need.
And there's so many free courses you can find online now, too. It's crazy, like iTunes University, watching TEDx videos. I mean, there are things you can pick up in so many places for free.
Absolutely. I mean, the massive courses, the massive online open courses that are taking place is a huge revolution. And I think for anyone who's willing to really make their own decision to apply themselves, you have a wealth of information you've never had before. I mean, you could literally, if you want to write better blog posts, for instance, you could educate yourself and get the equivalent of your own master's degree just by reading the archives of Copyblogger or something like that. You read, 2 posts a night, and before long, you are one of the most knowledgeable people out there because you committed to do it.
Well, Copyblogger is also a very knowledgeable blog, so...
That's right.
And what about even something like teaching? I mean, you taught at Emerson, and I've heard that, well, you learn a lot just by also teaching things as well.
It's true. When you have smart students, you have to run like mad to get in front of them. So yes, it does inspire one to keep up the pace.
So what are some of the other things that people can find in the book?
So other pieces that we talk about in the book, how do you find mentors? That's something that a lot of people say, oh, I wish I had a mentor. And they just seem so elusive. So we talk about some of the interesting strategies that people can use to really get themselves to the next level and unlock knowledge that they wouldn't get otherwise. I mean, for instance, people always think, oh, it's got to be some older, wiser person who takes you under their wing. But you can have peers as mentors. You can have a group of people as your personal board of directors. You can even learn from people who work for you or who are younger than you, which, I have one example in my book about a TV news reporter that became a novelist, and she was inspired to do it because the woman who actually started as her intern and then later became an employee of hers had written a romance novel. And this TV reporter said, oh my God, if she can do it, I can do it. Yeah. And she just went ahead, and she really feels like in many ways her intern became her mentor in that process.
Yeah. I love that, just looking at the opposite view. I mean, the contrarian viewpoint, we often do think of, the older, wiser person, but a lot of these kids that are coming up through, they're younger and wiser in many ways compared to what we're used to. So,
that's so right.
Yeah. Well, so Reinventing You, it's coming out this spring.
Yes.
Where will people be able to find it?
Thank you. Well, it's coming out from Harvard Business Review Press, so they can get it on that website. They can get it on, it's already available for pre-order on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, IndieBound, all the good stuff.
Reinventing You. And, okay, so we'll get it there. And if people want to follow you on Twitter, where do they go?
At Dorie Clark. I'd love to be in touch.
Well, I definitely want to be in touch because I want a copy of the book. And I might have to send it to you in New York to sign it for me.
I would be glad to do it. Thank you, Amanda.
Well, thank you. And I think that you can all reinvent yourselves too. And I think you should start by reading her book, Reinventing You. Dorie Clark, thanks so much.
Thank you.